My, how things have changed since the last time I've talked to our guest today. I'm Raj Groves, Believe in Chelsea FC, and joining me yet again is Dylan Polk. That's right, he's on the board of Chelsea in America and the founder of Carefree Louisiana. Dylan, how you doing, my man? What's good?
Oh, man, I'm great, man. Thanks for having me back again.
Absolutely. And talking about having you back, last time I talked to you, we were talking under different circumstances. Now, I wasn't terribly panicked. I know you definitely weren't panicked, but I believe we talked after the Chelsea preseason game. Now, I was concerned about that back line. They give up 4 goals like that. But you were not concerned. Give me your thoughts on where we stand right now with Chelsea.
I mean, considering how our entire fan base was completely up in arms about the entire project, not
Mhm.
wanting to believe in the players that we brought in, having the youngest squad that I think we've ever put out in front of us, the fact that we are just a few points off the table, have the highest scoring team in the league, and have rotation and depth. What else can you really ask for at this point in the project?
Yeah. Speaking of that rotation and depth, let's take a step back to our previous game, of course, the Conference League. How do you like our B team, Dylan? I mean, hell, we got a B
I mean,
team that will rival a lot of Premier League teams, if you ask me.
I mean, the biggest thing that I noticed about our B team, if you want to call it a B team, I'm just going to call it our depth, because I
Okay.
feel like there's players on there that are playing more than just being labeled B. But my biggest thing is we're playing the exact same style that we're playing with our A team, and that speaks leaps and volumes for what Enzo Maresca is putting together with his team. The guys, they're all buying into the system that we're doing, and goals are flowing. Now, obviously, we got to work on the defense because we can't seem to keep a clean sheet when we need to.
Mm-mm.
But all I see is win, 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 win. What if you're a Chelsea fan that's complaining about the project at this point? I think you just need to sit back and wait because good things are coming. We got a harder schedule that's coming after the international break that's really going to test us.
Yep.
Um, but if we can get through that Liverpool game, that United game, uh, the Arsenal game with maximum points, I think we're. I don't want to say that we're title contenders yet because we're not.
Mm.
I don't think we're
I'm
going to
not
be
there.
title contenders until next year.
Yep.
Um, but it's nice to know that we have the ability to say we are definitely top four contention and should be in Champions League next year. I can say that with confidence.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this year I agree. I don't think we're title contenders, and that's okay. Listen, look where we are right now. We're in the damn conference, European League. But what I like about this year as compared to last year and perhaps the year prior to that is you say we got a tough stretch coming up, and you're right. But it was these gimme games, these games against lesser opponents where we would play down to these opponents and only get a point out of it, or perhaps even lose. This year, Chelsea is taking care of business, and we are getting 3 points out of those games, setting us up for these tough stretches coming up, in my opinion.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is nothing but a time for us to build confidence, find out the players who are ready, and the players that want to be on the field, and also figuring out who works well together. We're seeing situations where we got to see that um, Neto works really well with Christopher and Cuckoo in the so-called B team. We're seeing that Nick Jackson and Palmer were working really well together in the A squad. I mean, we're figuring out who needs to play and where it needs to go so that we can keep a proper rotation to keep players happy. And
Yeah.
also, like if you read articles that are coming out right now, players are going into the gaffer's office each week and saying, "Hey, what can I do to get minutes? What can I do to be relevant?" And
Mm-hmm.
it's nice that we've got healthy competition for places. So many times last year, my group of friends, I've got this massive text. We call it the NOLA Ultras, and there's probably 30 people in there. We're always trying to guess what the squad is going to be,
Oh, yeah.
or anything that's contentious during the week, or just proper banner. And I mean, at the end of the season last year, we all knew what the squad was going to be. Mostly that was due to injuries and just Pochettino not wanting to mix things up. But now, like we the new manager is mixing things up where he needs to, trying players that needs to, putting faith in players that I would have never dreamed of, and actually getting productivity out of Mudrick. The man's on 2 assists in 2 games. Like, what the hell is going on?
It's
Everybody had completely sold that guy down the river and say, you know what, we're done with him. He needs to be gone. Myself included. I didn't want to believe in the guy. Then all of a sudden, the guy looks like he's suddenly trying to be reborn underneath Nebraska.
I've been tough on him, and I'm not saying I believe in the guy yet. I still ain't there because he's
no one is. No one is.
But I was saying at the pub last week over at Jock Deli's in Culver City with the LA Chelsea Blues, Enzo Maresca must see something in him because he's quick to put you to the side. Like, hey, you're not playing. He keeps putting this guy out there, even if it's the so-called B team, as you say, or the depth team, as you say. Excuse me. He still must see something in music and training or whatever where he's giving this guy a shot to make the roster to stay. Because I'm like, okay, he's gone. He's definitely gone. You see what he did with Chill, even though he brought it back. You see what he did with Sterling. Hey, we don't need you. You're not going to play. He has not done that with Mudryk. So he sees something. Is this coming to fruition before our very eyes? Is Mudryk going to stake a claim in this squad?
I mean, and you know what? Even if he doesn't stake a claim, if he could just raise his value, where if we do have to sell or have to loan, at least we can know we're going to get some of that back. We're never getting that $80 million back. That's not happened. We overpaid for him. He wasn't as good as he looked in the Ukrainian league. He wasn't. So if we can get something out of him, great. I know he's got a decent sized contract in front of him. So if we're getting any type of anything back from him at this point, I'm nothing but happy. The cross that he threw in for the assist yesterday, it was perfect.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
Yeah.
So all I know is I'm seeing growth, and growth's what matters throughout the entire team.
That's right. No matter where you come from, as long as you grow, and hey, if he gets that value for me, I'm all about it. And speaking of value, one of my favorite values, and I don't know if we spoke of it last time, but Ronaldo Vega. I think it was 14 mil we got him for. He scores a goal, of course, in the last game. What are you seeing out of this value? Talk about getting in cheap and growing in the depth. I love his versatility. He can play center back if we need to. He can play left back. He can go into the defensive mid. What are your thoughts on Vega?
I know that he had 100% successful dribbles, had 100% success, I believe it was, on all of his long balls. He had 88% for successful passes, had a goal and assist. If you wanted anything else out of the game from him, I don't know what you wanted. The player, I think we got a steal. When everyone was thinking we had to go, I believe his name for Arsenal is Calafiori. Obviously, he was the player that we had originally looked at, and then Arsenal snagged him. But I'm almost wondering if our board and our directors weren't like putting interest to raise the price, so they had to pay for him because Vega's the guy that we really wanted to go for. And on top of that, isn't he 21?
Yes. 21, bro. This is like FIFA gold. If you're playing FIFA, this is like gold,
And isn't he on I think he's got a 6-year contract at least. So we're positioning ourselves. And I know this restructure has been infuriating to everyone. And we're not, because Chelsea fans if you've only been a Chelsea fan in the last 20 years, you know nothing but success.
Right.
Like, I was there pre-Abramovich. I was there when we were shit. Not even shit, but just like not competing, not being relevant. And now, okay, fans are having a moment of humbling where we're not reaching the levels that we're so used to. But there's moments like this, and some of the players that we're bringing in, and the momentum we're carrying. Like, Chelsea is going to be a force in the years to come. I see depth for years in this project. Where we're looking at teams that are supposed to be the biggest brand in the world, like Manchester United, and are doing nothing but stringing crap result after crap result, and are probably going to lose their manager by Christmas. It's kind of nice to sit back and just say, "Look at us go."
Yeah, when you talk of struggle, so when I got in, like I say, we were talking prior to taping. I was playing FIFA, and I got in the Drogba days, right? So that's how I knew Chelsea. So I didn't know of the financial structure. I just like that team in blue. They had a lot of brothers. Like, that's the team I want to root for.
Speaking of, I'm pretty sure we've got more brothers than anybody else in the league right now.
We do, and that's always my recruitment for my cousins and this and that. Root for this team for this. But So I didn't know struggle, right? I came to the top.
Yeah.
Now, since COVID and this and that, and it's been very up and down, but these volleys that we hit, I always explain to people, if you do get success, it is that much sweeter if you've been through the struggle, if you've been through the rebuild, if you've been through the depths and you see us not making champions. You know how sweet it's going to be if we can, hang on like we're doing and qualify for Champions League. Like, exciting. That seems like so long ago when I could go on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, check us out on the TV, in the Champions League. That is going to be sweet, Dylan.
And also the same thing, and this may not be the nicest opinion to have, but America is full of bandwagon fans who just hop on whatever's winning and whatever is cool in that moment. And specifically in New Orleans, I know for a matter of fact, for the last Champions League that we won, we probably had 150 people at the pub, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And we went through this transition.
Yep.
We went through a transition where we changed pubs in New Orleans and we moved to a new space, still keeping the game together. And all of a sudden things weren't perfect and we weren't like the best thing in the world. And you saw all those plastic supporters dip off and go away. Good. And you know what I say? Good fucking riddance. Like, I don't need, like, I don't, if, one life, one love, one club. Like when people tell me that they say, oh, this is my first team, but I also like to watch this team. You can watch them all you want, but like, don't tell me that you got another one of those jerseys in your closet that you throw when they've had a good game and we haven't. Like, I don't know what to do with that.
Filter those people out. 100%. Filter them out. Hey, now let's
go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, I'm glad that I'm not glad that we've had a moment of struggle, but if it's gonna weed out the people that aren't serious, that aren't real supporters, I'm all for it.
100%. And like I said, it makes you appreciate success. Just qualifying for Champions League is going to be so sweet. You just don't take it for granted now. It's going to be awesome.
100%.
All right, so let's look ahead real quick to the game against Nottingham Forrest coming up. Now, I think our last 5, this isn't just a gimme game. I think we're 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss, if I'm not mistaken. So they haven't been a pushover. Let's see. In the table, of course, Chelsea is 4th, hanging on with 13 points. And Nottingham Forest, a little bit of surprise to me, they're 10th place with 9 points, Dylan. What are you looking for in this game? And, of course, we're on with Dylan Polk of Chelsea and American, founder of Carefree, Louisiana.
What I'd really like to see more than anything is a clean sheet.
What's that?
Right. I feel like in today's game, our biggest barometer of success is obviously 3 points on the board. That's what everyone wants to see. And I love these high-flying games of the 6 goals against, Wolves, and the fact that we're putting 4 goals here and 4 goals here and 4 goals there. But I would so gladly settle for a 2-0 win and give our defense some confidence. Just I don't know what's going on in the back, whether the men aren't pressing correctly, whether there's not a conversation between our deep-lying midfielders and our center backs. I don't know what it is, but there's a disconnect there. The last goal that was scored against us yesterday versus Ghent, there was 3 men unmarked in the box for the other team. How's that possible? Like, what's it? Are we not working? Are we not working on set pieces correctly? I don't understand. The biggest thing that I know is if you outscore the other team, you're going to win. So maybe that's the strategy we're playing right now. I don't know.
We got that basketball mentality right now, that NBA mentality. Just outscore the other team.
I just know that Nottingham Forest scores goals. They're not scoring a crazy amount of goals, but I mean, if you look at the table, they've only let 5 goals in this season. Where you look at us, we're letting up more. We just are. And if you scroll further even back, it's like look at Nottingham Forest season so far. They got a win against Liverpool. That's a statement. That's a big statement. They drew against Wolves, a team that we demolished. They drew against Newcastle. Newcastle's a solid team this year. So any expectations of anything less is it's silly. So it obviously shows that they've got a great project going on at Nottingham, and we're not going to be able to sit back and just let them play their game. We're going to have to bring it to them.
Yeah, they're definitely not lacking in confidence, Dylan, especially with those early results. If they figure they can go in and beat Liverpool, they can beat anybody.
100%.
Yeah, they're going to come with it. And I can wait. And one thing I'm jealous about thinking of this game, I'm jealous about you, New Orleans, and the rest of you folks in that You know what time we got to get up out here in California to make this damn game? I got to get up at 5 in the morning, Dylan, just to get to the pub by 6. It starts at 6 Pacific
Hey, my
time.
man, you chose those high taxes and perfect weather. That's on you. Like, that's your problem. I mean, why don't you
Life
come over here?
choices. You're right.
Come on down to the dirty coast. We'll have a cold beer ready for you at a decent time.
Yeah, I'll trade it in because we're gonna be hitting the beach watching the little football later in
Yeah,
the
but
day.
you got that cold. You got that cold beach. I don't want that cold water beach. No.
Well, yeah, the water is good, but I love waves. I'm a water sport guy, boogie board surfing, so I need the waves. So I got a little wetsuit and this and that for that.
Okay,
But even if you don't get in, the scene by the beach, if you know what I mean, isn't bad. So places to watch the games. That's what I can't trade in. All right, hey, so got a few more things to do with you, Dylan Polk, of course, founder of Carefree Louisiana. Couple players that you're giving an A to, A plus so far. Report card time. Who you giving an A to?
Obviously, Cole Palmer. I mean, it's just got to be realistic. My man is bringing it every game, all game. I've been really impressed with Christopher and Cuckoo. He's looked nothing but fantastic whenever he's been given a shift. How many players do you want to give an A to?
You don't have to force it. 2 or 3. So
that honestly, those are the number one names that pop out in my head. But also I'm going to go ahead and throw it to Pedro Neto as well, because he's done nothing but come into this team, play wherever the gaffer puts him, and deliver results. A lot of people were really, really upset with us getting rid of Connor Gallagher, mostly because he was a workhorse on the field. He was an academy kid who did nothing but work his ass off to make himself relevant and to keep the team alive. Sad to see him go. He didn't sign the contract. 2 contracts were put in front of him. It didn't happen. We've got Pedro Neto, who paid a good amount of money for him, but he's injected that pace. He's injected that workability, and also no one is more excited to be involved in a celebration than Neto right now.
I love that. You look at that stuff too. I always look at that. I like to see how people are happy for other people. You know what I mean? How happy are you that this guy scored? That wasn't you, but someone else.
Immediate team player, just ready to like ball out for the club and do his thing. So like, if we're giving A's right now, those are the ones that I'm. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm excluded one person who's been nothing but instrumental, and that's Moises Caicedo. Whoo!
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what about Caicedo?
You can talk about him, but man, he's been nothing but amazing.
No, he's leading the league in tackles, if I'm not mistaken. In that one game where we got 14 yellows, he didn't get any. He has been, and I love something he said. He recognizes the importance of N'Golo Kante, who was in my top 5 of favorite players, which we'll get into later. We're going to get Dylan's top 5 favorite players. Don't you worry, people. We're going to get it. But I love them in the approach he's taking, the mentality, just being that anchor back there. And that is something we've needed so badly. And so, yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I was going to ask a grade on him. Now, real quick, a couple guys that you would give a C or less. So guys that are kind of disappointing you a little bit. A couple guys. Not everything is roses.
If I'm going to say disappointing, Wesley Fofana, I need him to do better. I need him to communicate with the back line. I need him to step to the attacker when he's got backup.
He looks so raw back there. I know he has potential, but Jesus Christ, you're playing like you're maybe it's the injuries that he hasn't been on the pitch much, but he's 26.
So he's 26. If you were saying he didn't have pace right now and we could play into his injury and he's not fully back to strength, but it's simple game knowledge that's not there.
Yeah.
Reading the man, communicating to another player to go to a ball when it's in his space.
Yeah.
I need more from him. And right now, Tosin and Colwell seem like my number 1 and number 2 center backs. So if he wants to falter some more and play in the Conference League instead and let Tosin take control of the Premier League, that's fine. I could hope
another 26-year-old. Tosin looks like he's 5 years his elder in terms of a mental approach to the game. You know,
man plays like a grown man.
Yeah,
he plays grown man ball. Another lower grade. I don't think I can quite give it a C, but someone who's just not quite been what I was hoping for. I'm not exactly in love with everything that Enzo Fernandez does right now. I thought that we were going to get a little bit more creative passing. I thought we were getting more of a Cesc Fabregas player because the hype that was coming off of him after the World Cup was just through the roof.
Sure.
And maybe this is everybody getting used to the system. Maybe this is everybody figuring out the place that they need to be. I can't complain much about too many of these players right now because we don't even know what Chelsea's going to be. The way Chelsea's playing right now may not be the same way that we're playing in Christmas. And all that we've seen is positives minus the City game. So I'm not going to give him a C, but I'm just going to say I would like to see more out of Enzo.
Yeah.
And the only other player that I would like to see a little bit more of besides the defensive shambolics going on in the back, because I could go all day about how things aren't working out in defense. Felix. I was really hoping that Felix was going to get a little bit more involved in the game yesterday. I really thought that he would. He's so close. He's so close. He's giving me the vibes that he gave the last time he was here, where everything was so close to coming to fruition, and he was right there on almost getting assists or almost getting a goal and just missing post wide. I texted one of my close friends yesterday in our group saying, like, really wanted something good to happen for Felix today. So it's not a bad grade. I'm really hopeful that he can come good because he's a good kid. He tries really hard. It just hadn't happened for me. He gives me Timo vibes, where Timo Werner like worked so hard for the team, it wouldn't land for him, and he tried and he tried and he tried, and it just didn't happen. So we had to move on. I'm really hoping that's not going to be the case with Felix, because I want good things for the guy.
And he really it seems like he really feels the fans and loves that relationship. He wants to be a Blue. So you're right. You're one of the guys I root for. And real quick before we move on, in terms of Enzo Fernandez, I was hoping a healthy without the injury. He had the hernia surgery, obviously would change. But then when I see him put on that Argentine shirt, he's a whole different player, bro. He plays way better for a country than he does for us. And that's concerning for me because it's in there. We just ain't getting it. Hey, all right. So before I want to hear about the big event you guys have coming up in February and how they join your crew. But first, we do it with every guest, man. I need your top 5 favorite Chelsea players. I will remind you, there are no wrong answers. These are not the best players. These are Dylan Polk's favorite Chelsea players of all time. Who do you got at number 5?
Ashley Cole.
Okay. Love it.
I played defense in high school, select, ODP, all that nonsense. I was a center back that got turned into a left back. And the only player that Cristiano Ronaldo said, he's got my number. He can handle me. Ashley Cole was that guy, and any Arsenal fan will call him Cashley because he wanted to go somewhere else where there was a project and more money was being thrown at him. But then he put up results, and then he won, and then he came one of – you can argue differently, but I would put him in a 1-2 category with top best left back that's ever been in the Premier League.
Okay, beautiful. Number 4 favorite Chelsea player for Dylan Polk.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Tell me about him.
You don't know about Jimmy Floyd.
I know, but the people need to, you know what I mean?
He was just a workhorse. He was inspiring. He scored goals. Just the passionate brother we had before we had Didier. Like I have one of his shirts, long sleeve shirts at the house that I break out whenever it's a nice day and I'm feeling positive. Jimmy Floyd, he was one of those players when I was first coming into to my fandom that just really inspired me to become more and more of a Chelsea fan.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Your number 3 favorite Chelsea player.
I feel like I'd be wrong not to mention Hazard, because Hazard was nothing but inspiring. If you didn't like Hazard, and I felt so bad when the guy goes to Madrid and like just puts on weight and doesn't care as much anymore. I don't think he was in love. I don't think he was in love with Madrid. I think he liked the idea.
Why the hell he want to leave? Why do you want to go there? That's on him.
But you know what? I'm not. There's lots of players that leave our club that I get mad at, that do dirty, snaky things to get forced out of their contract, like Thibaut Courtois. Nothing but hate for that guy. I don't care what he did.
Well, he went with Hazard. They went at the same time, right?
Yeah, but Hazard. Well, no. Hazard won a trophy for us. Like, we knew it was coming. Won the Europa with us and said thank you for everything. I don't think it was everybody else says I can't wait to get there. I think he was more of a I think it's going to work out. thank y'all for everything situation.
Okay. All right. That's your number 3. As it was my number 2. So I feel you on that. Who is that your number 2 player, favorite Chelsea player of all time?
Frank Lampard.
Mm-hmm.
Speaks for himself. Frank Lampard,
Yeah.
highest goal scorer, consistent player, likable, never in the media, just came in, did the job. Even though he knew it possibly could have ended his managerial career, came in twice for the club to try to rectify a situation, got us in the top 4.
He took one for the team.
Took one for the team, got us in with a bunch of kids who were, from the academy. I mean, nothing speaks volumes about Frank is diehard Chelsea.
Beautiful. And your number 1, your favorite Chelsea player of all time?
So not everyone loves this guy. Most opposition fans probably hate this guy, but a member of the best center back pairing that's ever been in the Premier League. Captain, my captain, John Terry. That is my guy. That is my guy.
That's your position, center back.
Oh man, absolutely. Like the only person that can compare to him as a center back in the league, and I don't want to hear anything about Saliba. I don't want to hear anything about Virgil van Dijk. The only player that can compare to John Terry as a center back in the league that since I've been witnessing was Nemanja Vidic. And even then, it was because they were both complete leaders of the team, ran the dressing room, were loved by their managers, with the exception of Rafa Benitez, but nobody liked Rafa. But John Terry, that's my guy. Okay. He lived for the club. He died for the club. Like that's
beautiful. GT. That's your top 5. Everyone's got it. No one's had any of the same top 5 players, not even in the same, different order. So that's why I love top 5s. It's what you watch, who meant something to you. Beautiful. Now tell me, we've talked about this a couple of times before, or at least last time, and briefly, what do you guys have going on in February, and how can people be down?
So in the weekend this is the first time we're announcing it really publicly for the date for the weekend of February 21st, 22nd, and 23rd in New Orleans. We're having our 4th annual Blues Day. What Blues Day is to somebody who's never been, it is a gathering of Chelsea fans from all over the country and a few from the UK in New Orleans on Mardi Gras for parades, festivities, debauchery, a little bit of Chelsea watching. We've done everything from meet at breweries to pub crawls to being actually on the Mardi Gras parade route all day, drinking libations and whatever may come to you. Either way, it's a good time. So if you're looking for a Chelsea experience in America that doesn't involve a U.S. tour, because we're only so lucky to get those. Excuse me. If you're only able to have Chelsea experiences at your local pub, or when the U.S. tour comes to town, or those random NBC TV watching experiences, which I'm not really quite sure why I would want to gather to go watch it on the big screen. If you're wanting a fan experience where you can meet Chelsea fans from all over the country, watch a game, and to get to experience a town with the most culture in America and the most history in America, please come down to New Orleans. In the coming months, we're going to be updating the website so you can come see what the schedule is going to be like for our events. Let us know you're coming. We're going to have shirts for sale, swag, etc. But it's going to be a great time, and we hope more and more people come.
Yeah, bring your scarf and bring your beads because you're going to need them down in New Orleans, your Chelsea scarf.
Oh, no. You don't need any beads. You can get plenty of those on your own.
All right, fair enough. But
we do ask anybody that does come that nobody from their chapter has ever been before, bring one of your chapter scarves. We'll hang it up in our pub. It'll stay there permanently.
Oh, beautiful. Great idea. Thank you for that heads up for sure. So Dylan Polk, Chelsea in America, founder of Carefree Louisiana. Dylan, we'll do it again. We'll do it before the transfer window opens up again. Hopefully we'll take care of Nottingham. And again, Dylan was one of the guys that wasn't panicking early in the preseason like the rest of us were. So always good to catch up to you, Dylan.
Thanks for having me on again. And we'll talk again soon.
All right. That's right. Raj Groves. Believe in Chelsea FC. Check us out this week, and we'll be at Jockster Deli's in Culver City for the match, Nottingham Forrest match. Woo, bright and early. Man, so Chelsea City's New Orleans, and he's in Central Time Zone, East Coast guys to get to sleep in. Anyway, as always, let's get it, Blues.